Girl,
Everybody
it's
follow
packed
the one
out
line,
here tonight.
please. Follow the one line, please.
I told you.
IDs out. I need to see IDs. Thank you, ladies. Welcome to Park Ave.
Excuse me. Hello? Can you move? What? Excuse me. Oh my God. You ready to go? Girl, I've been ready.
Well, hey, girl, hey.
Hey, girl, hey.
How's life treating you?
You know, I'm just recovering.
Your day's really been sounding real.
I'm just recovering, man. I'm recovering from life. Yo, I'm recovering from life. I still ain't washed this conditioner out my hair.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I have a deep conditioner I put in yesterday. Yeah, I meant to wash it out last night, but clearly it's still in there.
Life had other plans.
Life has other plans. So, you know, hopefully once I rinse it out, blow dry it, straighten it, my shit will be nice and bouncy.
I feel you. Do you plan on doing that today?
You know, the way today is looking, I doubt it. Because I still need to go pay my rent.
Okay, well that would be
So,
good. That's stressful.
It's stressful.
It's a whole lot. It takes a lot out of me too when I pay my rent. I know it's just a couple of buttons on the internet for me, but
damn, you gotta prepare yourself.
Yeah.
You gotta log in.
It's just like I look around my apartment and be like, is this really worth it? Is this home really worth it?
I could probably live in my car.
Yeah, is there other alternatives to this? I could live somewhere else.
I really don't need to pay all this money.
What am I actually paying for? Walls? What am I paying for? What am I paying for? You know?
Do I need all of this?
Do I?
But then
do I need multiple rooms? Can it just be one big room? Will that be cheaper?
I mean, hey, my bedroom's in my living room, so
your bedroom definitely is in your living room.
So what do I need this extra room for?
You need a studio. You need a studio with a big closet.
I do, but you know what? You know, I am going to just pay this rent and I'm going to be grateful.
Well, that's good. I want you to have a place to stay.
Because it's too hot outside to be out here just living reckless and not paying rent. So I'm just going to do that. But, you know, I'm just living, man. We're just living out here.
And you should.
Yeah.
What's poppin'?
Let me tell you what's poppin'. Niggas, when they see their ex moving on.
Is this your... you have somebody calling you?
This is a story. So look. So, you know, I've been dating. And so my ex called me and was like, hey, I want to come by your house. You know, let's hang out. And I'm like, you know, I'm actually getting ready to go to the movies. So...
Were you really or was that a lie?
No, it was for real, for real.
Oh, what did you go see?
I went to go see... It's about Basquiat. It was at the Museum of Fine Arts.
Okay. Oh, you went to like...
I went to...
a fancy movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Cultural shit.
Yeah, you didn't go to AMC. AMC wasn't it. It wasn't AMC.
Ma'am.
Okay.
No, ma'am. I went to the Museum of Fine Arts.
Like one of those one in a million movies.
Yes.
Okay, got you. That's real exclusive and fancy.
Yes. So
I like the way you roll.
Yes. So we went to that and you know, he's like my imaginary boyfriend because he's not my boyfriend yet, but...
Have you told him you want him to be your boyfriend?
Intuitively.
I said it in my mind.
I said it in my mind.
The look I gave him.
Yeah, the look that I gave him.
Was like, you're mine. Negro, you're mine.
Yes. So he was just like, oh, so you going by... I guess he assumed that I was going by myself. Mm-hmm. He goes, oh, you going by yourself? And I was like, no, actually, I have a date. And he was like, oh. And, you know, and I used to lie back, like, before. I used to lie a lot about me having a boyfriend. But for this particular reason, I think that I don't know, something clicked with him. But he was like, for real? You going with somebody? And I was like, yeah, it's a date. And he was like, oh, okay. Well, shit. Well, I'm happy for you. I'm really happy for you. You know, I'm glad that we took this time to talk to each other about it.
You know, niggas know progress.
Girl.
It's something about your Facebook post. They start feeling something.
So then he started saying like, oh man, you know, I'm real happy for you. Yeah, I'm real happy for you. You know, because before, if you would have told me this maybe like a couple months ago, maybe a year ago, I would have felt some type of way. But I'm good. I'm good.
So he's not good.
And I was just like, okay, well, I'm happy that you're good. And he was just like, you know what? Honestly, you deserve that. You deserve that. And then I was like, okay, well, thank you. And so he was like, so when did you meet him? Like, who is he? And I was like, you know, honestly, I feel like he's like my twin. And he was like, your twin? And I was like, yeah, like, I feel like we're just alike. You know, our lifestyles are very similar, and we think alike, and we have a lot in common. We like the same stuff. So, you know, I feel like low-key he's like my twin. And he was just like, oh, so he's your twin. Wow, okay. And I was like, I don't understand why you, like, what's the problem? And he was just like, well, you know, I'm just saying, like, you know, I'm just happy for you. I'm just really happy for you. That's what he kept saying. And I just thought, it just tickled me so much, because then he started, so then he was like, okay, well, I gotta go. I'm gonna call you like in 15, 20 minutes. I was like, all right. So he sends me all these text messages talking about make sure he treats you right. And I'm like, nigga, you ain't treat me right.
Well, they always have all the advice. And it's like, well, if you would have did all this when we was together, we would still be together.
My nigga. Then he goes, you're a great woman. Make sure you tell him I said to treat you right. And I go,
you didn't tell yourself that?
yeah. So then I go, well, he knows what he has, so I don't think I need to tell him.
Unlike
anything.
you.
And then he was just like, damn. And I'm like, yeah, my nigga. Like, what you mean? So then he's calling me back, talking about, you know, I still have feelings for you. I ain't gonna even try to lie. Like, I still have feelings for you.
Don't fall for them traps.
And then he goes, he ain't me. He ain't me. I know he's not you, clearly.
Thank God.
Thank God. Like, he's not you. He's not you. You're right. He's not you. And he's like, well, I still see us being together. I'm like, bro, it's not going to happen. You have 4 years of me in the palm of your hand. Me in the palm of your hand. Just dancing around, trying to show myself to you. And you had me for 4 whole solid years. And now, all of a sudden, we gonna be together? My nigga, stop it. Just stop it.
They smell progress.
Stop it. So then he was like, well, I just want to tell you that I love you. And, you know, I'm dating too.
But you were dating while we were dating, so I expect you to date. You were always dating, what?
Girl, then he tries to tell me this story about this girl he's talking to. And I'm just like, bro.
You entertained this conversation way longer.
It was just funny to me, because he was just going on and on. And I was just like, you know, well, I hope y'all. I said, well, I'll go watch the movie, and it's a good one. So I would recommend you take
I remember
her on a
this
date.
guy used to always tell me when I used to tell him I was seeing somebody, good luck on your life endeavors.
Yeah,
Every time. I used to hate that nigga for that. Good luck on your life endeavors.
Get outta here.
Like, oh my God. And then I fell for that trap every time. Damn it.
Really?
I did. We talked on and off for years.
Oh, no.
Like years. My God. My youth wasted.
No, this is over. Like, I don't see my... No. Yeah, nah, fam. Nah, fam. Ain't gonna be able to do it. But that's what's cool in the city, man. When niggas smell progress, when niggas see you really shining, your skin is popping, your hair is glowing.
Your Facebook posts seem happier.
I mean, shit is popping.
You finding the light in your Instagram photos.
And then,
they know.
And then you're not posting too much, but you ain't posting enough to figure out what the fuck is going on in your life.
You ain't
Niggas
posting
know.
When you're not posting people and you just posting yourself on vacations and at the movies and in the
Woo!
mall. Who you with? Who you with? Who you loving? Who you want to be
pictures
hugging?
of you.
Who you loving? Who you want to be hugging? That's what they be trying to figure. Oh, you at a pool party, but I just see you solo. Who's on the other side of that camera?
Yeah.
Who's on the other side?
My new man.
I see you took a picture of a movie ticket. But I see one. So you went by yourself?
Nah, fam.
I see that popcorn's pretty large. I know you can't eat a whole thing of popcorn by yourself. So are you there with somebody? Is it a double date?
Niggas don't want to see you progress. They want you in your
see
bed
you.
crying.
I see you in that little black dress. That's interesting.
Yes.
You ain't dressed like that when I was with you.
Yes, Lord.
Oh, you watch a new show on Netflix? That's not the type of show you like. What nigga put you on that show?
Now you do. Now you watching documentaries.
Now you want to be educational. Now you don't want to watch reruns of Martin. Okay.
So you don't watch Basketball Wives no more.
Okay. Love and Hip Hop just stopped showing. Niggas know. They could tell. They be all in the background of your picture. You gotta watch them.
Yes, we're progressing over here. We are progressing.
And shout out to OWN. I just want to take the time to tell Oprah that I am a huge fan of that network. I was one of the people who watched OWN when they thought it was trash. I used to put it on before I went to sleep, and I used to cut it on to clean my house because I wanted Oprah to get her ratings, and it was terrible.
And you did your part.
I did my part because I knew Oprah was going to come through with programming that I needed to see, and she has fully came through with programming I personally enjoy. So shout out to Oprah and OWN, Super Soul Sunday, Ayala Fix My Life, Queen Sugar, the new show Love Is coming out, Greenleaf, Sweetie Pies, you name it, OWN has it. They out here giving y'all black love. Oprah, you really did the damn thing. And I'm really happy when that OWN was terrible and it was a whole bunch of paid programming. I am happy I used to turn that channel on and keep it surviving. And BET, you can go to hell.
Boom.
BET's a terrible station.
You did have points. How could we not have... I think you had posted something. You did post something on Facebook, and you said, "Do black people not like interior design shows? Do black people?"
That's my problem with BET though. At one point, I don't remember BET being such. And maybe BET has always been like this. I just never noticed because I got older, and maybe because OWN's programming and TV One and all these other black entertainment-esque television channels have came out. But in reality, all BET play is Baby Boy, Tyler Perry, Martin, which is nothing wrong with none of this.
But we need more.
We need more.
Because black people are more.
The thing is, renovation shows. I found out Ananda Lewis, who I think used to do Teen Summit.
I think that's what,
Ananda Lewis quit television to basically gut out houses, renovation to homes. So it was why y'all didn't find Ananda and give Ananda a show? She already worked with y'all. Everybody liked her. She was super pretty. She was super chill. Why doesn't Ananda have a renovation show on BET? Why haven't y'all found Aisha Curry or Tia Mowry or Tamara Mowry or Patti LaBelle, all these people who cooking on Facebook and YouTube? Why haven't y'all given them a show? Black people cook. And we like food that's salmon and other stuff.
We don't cook soul food all
it don't have to be soul food every time, which is nothing wrong. If y'all want to have a soul food show, fine. But we cook other stuff as well. Or just in general, even the reruns they play are the same reruns everybody plays. And it's nothing wrong. I will sit here and watch a Martin episode in a minute. But Sister, Smart Guy, what else came out in the 90s? My Brother and Me, Proud Family. It's all these other shows that were out. The Steve Harvey Show. It's all these shows that were out in the 90s. All of us,
Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
It's all these other black shows that was out in the 90s that y'all just refused to replay and give a reboot and rebirth to. You could get people back into these shows, but y'all just play the same reruns. And on top of that, it's just OWN is just kicking y'all ass, man. How did OWN think of Greenleaf, a series about a black mega church, and y'all didn't think of that? How did OWN
Because they're not worried about that.
How Queen Sugar came out and y'all didn't think of something like that? Why isn't there a show for people in their 30s trying to figure out life? Why in the one college show you had, you canceled. Y'all canceled the Quad. Even when they had The Game was a really good show on CW. I used to love The Game. And then it got to BET and then y'all kind of made it this terrible show. And it was just why is this show so dark and not funny? And what happened? It's BET is just at this point is a terrible station. Y'all BET Awards, I watch them because I do like to see black people, but even y'all nominees are very y'all hope Beyonce and Rihanna show up, so y'all nominate them even when I don't necessarily think they're deserving, in a sense that there are other artists. Y'all not breaking other artists. How is it all? I'm finding all these random black artists on Twitter and Instagram, and y'all not breaking these black artists. Why am I finding out through people on Twitter? Why aren't you giving half these people on Twitter a show either? Some of these people on Twitter are hilarious. Why? BET, I just don't understand. Why don't you play HBCU basketball and football games? I just have a lot of questions. And I hope BET gets it together. I know y'all owned by Viacom, so essentially y'all owned by white people. But Viacom owns everybody, so I need to know the budget for BET at this point, because MTV and VH1, especially VH1, is out here just giving y'all entertainment, and people love that station. Why isn't BET giving me the entertainment I need? Like, overall, it's black entertainment. It should be overall giving me everything I need with music, politics, life, love.
Because they did. What was that show with the Nanda Lewis and that
Teen Summit used to be on there, even though people...
They talked about the provocative topics for
106
young people.
But even 106 in Park was really good. You guys had... they canceled it. Couldn't stand it. College Hill was ahead of its time on the low.
Yes.
It's just so much other stuff that could be on BET that's just... It's just not. It's like y'all just... OWN is kicking y'all ass. I'll just leave it like that. OWN has genuinely, even the reality shows OWN do have, it's not like your Basketball Wives or your Love and Hip Hop. They out here giving y'all black families out here flourishing. It's just so much more BET could offer, and they just refuse. It is literally called black entertainment. And all y'all want to show us is Tyler Perry and Baby Boy. And it's like I said, there's nothing wrong with that. You can throw that in, but why don't you show cartoons for kids in the morning?
Mix it up. There is something wrong. No, there is something wrong with that. We don't always want to see no goddamn Tyler.
No, that's right. It's nothing wrong with the actual movie and shows. Right, I just don't want to see it on your 24-hour clock.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a fan of Tyler. I like what Tyler Perry does. Essentially, like, I'm not a fan of all his movies, but I like him and what he's done with his creativeness and his projects. But I don't need to see Tyler Perry 24 hours a day. I don't need to see Martin 24 hours a day. BET, y'all need to get on it. Y'all should have created like a Netflix app and put all the black movies, because one thing about Netflix is they do not have a Low Down Dirty Shame. They do not have they don't have Love Jones. They don't have Poetic Justice. Netflix don't have all the black movies that we essentially would like. It's just so much y'all could be doing and y'all don't do it. And I just, BET, y'all really getting y'all ass kicked by OWN. And, you know, hopefully with Deborah Lee, I don't know. And I don't really think Deborah Lee was the issue, because they said she stepped down. It's the higher people, the higher ups. And hopefully just one day they'll realize that we deserve renovations and cooking shows and comedies and dramas about teens who have money and going to high school, like Beverly Hills 90210, or give us shows about 30-year-olds who don't have it together, who are really sitting here making it day by day. That's not lawyers or like literally confused. Or show us something about like lesbian relationships, because it's a whole LGBTQ, that's all letters, community out here that gets neglected, and they have like love stories and situations and dramas too. Like, y'all should be pushing the envelope, and y'all should be giving us so much more than what we're getting from you guys, and it's just unfortunate.
Preach.
So BT, bye bitch. No, I'm kidding. I
get a thumbs down.
I still double check to see what's on. I mean, granted it'd be a Tyler Perry movie, but I still check y'all. I go through BET, Her, TV One every day to figure out which one I want to watch. But you know, do y'all. And shout out to Lil Uzi Vert. You my type of nigga.
He rode up on that nigga.
Lil Uzi Vert. See, this is the thing I like about Lil Uzi Vert. I don't know his music, and I don't know Rich the Kid's music, and I definitely don't know. It took me a minute. Music. Definitely took me a minute to realize which one was Rich the Kid, because didn't even know how he looked. But one thing I do like is Lil Uzi Vert pulling up. Like, y'all need to stop.
How you do it?
That's that internet rah-rah shit. Y'all have gotten way too comfortable. Y'all gotten way too comfortable with that rah-rah shit on the internet. Y'all need to start seeing people, because y'all dead be in a room with a person and then tweet about them 2 hours later. When you see somebody, you say how the fuck you feel. Stop using the internet as a scapegoat. That's so pussy and so lame to me in the first place. If you got a problem, say your problem. Period. And I like Lil Uzi Vert. Lil Uzi Vert got all the notifications on his IG and was like, oh, word? Cool. Where he at? All right, cool. That nigga jumped out that car while that car was still rolling. My type of And Lil Uzi Vert don't even seem like the type.
No,
like, he's just like a little bad bitch. He give y'all a good shoulder roll.
Yeah.
He got his
a little bang, a little dread bang.
He be in his little Hermes bags, and you know, he be out here with his Chanel, and he don't even look like he'll bust a grape, but he knows
he can pull up.
He can pull up, and I respect people who know.
I respect it.
Pull up.
But he slapped him.
Just pull up, and then he popped him. What's Rich the Kid? Rich the Kid goes on the internet and starts showing his jewelry, and it's just like, oh, okay, ain't nobody hurt me. It's like, but that nigga ran up on you after you tried to bully him on the internet, so
you lost.
You lost. You lost by Lil Uzi Vert, and for something like that should be like Just because Lil Uzi Vert just seems like a little petite bad bitch. So, like,
but that's the thing. Like, y'all gotta stop picking on people.
Stop underestimating people.
Because that's the thing. Like, people will roll up on your ass unexpectedly. And that nigga wasn't prepared.
David and Goliath.
He said he was looking. He was just standing there in the video. And that nigga pulled up. And was just like, what's up?
Yeah, that car, he called his Uber and got his ass down there. And I respect anybody who will call a Uber and get down to where they need to be.
I feel that. I'm the same way.
So Lil Uzi Vert, I don't think I know your music, but I will now go on my Tidal or my Apple Music to figure out what songs are popping. And I'm now a fan. Actually, let me follow you on Twitter and Instagram while we're here. I respect your...
I respect the pop-up.
I respect the pop. I do. I still... no matter how old.
A pull-up.
A pull-up.
I respect the pull-up.
No matter how old I get, I will always respect somebody who said, what you said? I will always respect the person who said, huh? Those are my people. Huh? What you said? I always will respect, keep my name out your mouth. I always respect those people. I feel them on levels. I don't care how old I get. I don't care how deep in faith I get. I will respect the person.
Keep my name out your mouth.
Who tells a person what you said.
Keep my motherfucking name out your mouth.
And that one too. That's it. So,
and with a clap. Keep my motherfucking name out your mouth.
It's a simple request.
Woo!
I've never heard a request be so simple. Just keep my name out your mouth.
Don't talk about me.
Don't
talk about me.
So much stuff to talk about in the world.
But don't talk about me.
So much happening in politics. So much happening with celebrities. So much happening in your life. So much happening in the world. So much to talk about. Just don't talk about me. All these subjects in the world. Just don't make me one. I always
pull up on your ass.
You know,
bitch.
Sometimes you just gotta let a nigga know, and you know,
I love it. I'm here for it.
Are we called Verties? The Verts? That's what they call them? the Verts?
I don't know.
Uzis?
The Uzis.
The Uzis? Okay. I don't really know the stand group name.
I don't know the stand.
It's okay. Name. I'll find them today and I'll join. I don't know the stand. Do I need to pay any fees? Is there a song I need to know front and back?
It's that I don't really care if you cry.
That's it? Okay. I never heard of it. But
it's on the radio.
Okay, cool. I'll learn that tonight. And I'm ready.
That's an old song.
Okay, is there a new song?
I'm not too sure.
What's the one song? Because you know, like artists usually have a song.
It's that song. I don't really care if you cry.
Okay, cool. Okay, got it.
But it's like a suicidal song.
It's okay, Uzi. I'm here. I'm here, Uzi.
I mean, I've always been here. When he did that shoulder shimmy.
And that one video, I don't know. I just been out here for 3 days.
Yeah. Like I really like. I mean, I'm not with it.
I've seen his pictures of him holding champagne with his Chanel bag, and I've always thought,
his music is not something that I just gravitate towards. But
a lot of this music is music I do not gravitate towards.
But I do like his energy.
It's
when he was, I think it was the Grammys. He was talking to Juliana Rancic.
Is that when he did the shoulder thing? No, that was MTV Awards.
That was the MTV Awards, and he was just looking at her like, I'm just here.
Yeah,
I'm just here.
Yeah. It's okay, Uzi. I got you. I'm about to learn this song. I'm about to become your fan.
She was really trying to pull out some questions from him, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm just here.
It's okay.
It's the Grammys,
and I'm gonna comment on all your stuff. So look out for me. I'm here for you." But this week, my Women Crush Wednesday goes to Deja from Higher Learning. I love you, Deja. Just give me all your love. You remember that song?
I don't remember.
Especially there.
I remember seeing that movie, but I don't remember.
You remember Tony's song? Okay. Anyways, Deja was played by Tyra Banks. I can't remember.
Okay.
Yeah, it's from the John Singleton classic, which BT, you never really played this movie either, so maybe you should mix it up and throw in the John Singleton Higher Learning. Deja is my. Did I say it? She was played by Tyra Banks, but yes. Deja is my Women Crush Wednesday because she really was about her business and really just wanted to live her best life on her track scholarship, and you niggas just wouldn't let her, or white supremacy wouldn't let her. So the movie is from like 1995. It has Omar Epps, Busta Rhymes, Ice Cube, and Regina King. Deja is just out here with a track scholarship. They never really said where she was from, but you just assume that she was probably from the hood or not. Her family didn't have much money because she was very appreciative of her track scholarship. She was out here running for her life. She took it very seriously. She always had an attitude on the track. She wasn't trying to crack jokes with them niggas. She wasn't trying to key with the girls. She was there, go to practice, go to class. So Malik tries to holler at her, of course, and then she has to Malik kind of comes, who's Omar Epps' character. Malik kind of comes in and he's very kind of disrespectful, for the lack of better words, to the scholarship. And she kind of has to remind him, these white people let us come to their school. They pay for everything. We're getting an A1 education. Why you keep blowing it? Why you keep blowing track practice? Why you keep blowing these classes? So you notice that she's really focused. I'm here to do my job. I'm here to use this money and use this school for everything it's worth. She's just out here focused. And then she's helping this nigga with his homework because he don't know the difference between a noun and a verb. And she's just super cute. And she's just minding her good old track business. So she gets involved with Malik. Malik's out here being a hot mess, beefing with the white kids, even though the white kids were pretty much being trashed in the movie. Out here trying to hang out with hoodlums. Out here he's really trying to find himself, I guess, in a sense. But he was very destructive, I guess, when he was trying to find himself and where he fit in. So Deja's just here minding. Tyra Banks, playing Deja, was just out here minding her business down to the PWI, the predominantly white institution. And her and Malik get together. The relationship is cool. She's kind of giving him, keeping him afloat and kind of trying to keep him on the right side of the tracks. But of course, like a nigga, he refuses to. And he starts beefing with the white boy who they underestimated. See, this is the thing about underestimating white kids sometimes. They don't care about a mass shooting. We know that. That is fact. They don't. They do not care about mass shootings. So he kept bothering essentially they kept having race wars on the campus. And eventually Remy, who I can't think of his real name because I call him Remy in real life. Remy becomes a skinhead and decides that he about to, do a mass shooting down to the college. Deja's minding her business with Malik down to the festival, minding her good goddamn business in her sundress with her bang and her swoop, with her bang and her what's this
feathered?
Yes, with the feathered and the bang. And she just happy and Malik layers. Yeah. Malik is acting right. The sun is shining. They're in LA. It is a good day. All my girl wanted to do was get her a turkey leg, listen to some campus music, go home and probably have sex with Malik to the Tony Tony song. That is all my girl wanted to do. But Remy had other plans for my girl. Remy goes to the top of the building and starts shooting. Deja and Malik start. Why are you laughing? I'm still upset with John Singleton behind this. Remy goes to the top of the building and starts shooting down to the festival. All you see is Malik and Deja running. Now, this is the thing about John Singleton and why I can't trust his ass. He stayed working off the person you wouldn't expect to die. I really never forgave him for killing Ricky on Boys in the Hood.
Ricky!
Because Ricky was just the last person I expected. So it's just damn, that nigga was about to get out the hood and here y'all go. And then he died so tragically with that big ass shotgun. And it is just a I watched Boys in the Hood probably fully once. I've never watched Boys in the Hood on repeat, even though I do own it because it's so depressing to me.
You have it?
Yes, I have Boys in the Hood. You want to borrow it? And Menace to Society and Poetic Justice and Higher Learning. I have every black movie you need, girl. Mahogany, Claudine.
I have Mahogany.
I have Claudine.
What is Claudine?
Claudine is when what's the girl? Damn, Diane Carroll. She got 7 kids.
All your black movies. Maybe I can binge watch them tonight.
You should. I have all the Negro movies.
Okay.
Literally all of them. But anyway, so Deja and Malik are running. They're track stars. So they're the last people I thought was going to get shot because they bucking. I'm talking about a 4x4. Bucking. Hand off the baton. Bucking. Running. Busting a move. I'm thinking these are going to be the last niggas to get shot. And boom. Deja gets hit. And not that Deja gets hit. She gets hit in such a dramatic,
a cinematic way.
Yeah, it's she falls. He realizes the bullet hits her. She's bleeding everywhere on this yellow sundress. And then she screeches out, "Why?" And then she starts coughing up blood. And then basically that's the end of the movie. Malik runs up. Malik runs upstairs and try to fight Remy. Remy gets arrested, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, Deja did not deserve. That girl really was there to get her education and run track. And John Singleton took that poor girl's life. And I still haven't gotten over it, to be honest with you. I'm getting upset now that I think about it because y'all didn't have to kill that girl. John Singleton, I have problems with you. Me and you need to talk about Ricky and Deja. So Deja, shout out, girl. You had a promise in life. Your life was cut short because, you know, white supremacy and mass shootings and stuff. And that's just very unfortunate. You was just out here in the 90s trying to get your education and live your life and love your nigga. And, you know, John Singleton had other plans for you in the movie. And it's very unfortunate because I would like to know what you're doing now. So, shout out John Singleton. I like all your movies, including Baby Boy that BET plays every week. So that's that. But this week, we got a letter too. I gotta find it. But this week, our topic this week is recovering from religion.
Woo! Yes.
Did you go to like an old school Baptist church?
Bitch, I went to an old school Methodist, United Methodist ass church.
Because I like my grandma, every time we used to go in church, they'd be like, praise the Lord, everybody.
No.
Praise the Lord.
Y'all have prayer warriors?
Yeah, we have prayer warriors. My grandma a prayer warrior.
My gosh. So my great grandma, God rest her soul, my great grandmother, Ethelene Madison. Ethelina.
She sound like she pray good.
Ethelina.
She sound like she pray real good.
She did.
All names like Ethel and Edna.
Ethelina.
They pray good. They pray real
Ethelina
good.
Madison. She was the queen of St. Paul United Methodist Church.
Come on, grandma.
At 1202 Sam Rankin.
Come on, grandma.
Corpus Christi, Texas.
She made you spit out your gum in church.
She did, but I didn't sit next to her. She sat on like the second or third row.
My grandma sits on the
front.
My grandma sits on the second row too, right at the end,
right in the corner.
Yeah, right there.
That
in
was
the
her
aisle.
seat.
Yeah,
that was Ethelina's seat. And if somebody was sitting in the seat, the ushers knew. Scoot them down.
Listen,
Scoot them down.
listen. Be a soldier in the army of the Lord. I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord.
She was. Ethelina was a soldier for the Lord.
Army of the Lord. I'm a soldier in the army.
That is something I remember so much about my great grandmother.
So what do you remember about religion and growing up?
Religion, like, I feel like my family, because I come from my mom's side of the family, they're very, very religious. They're very into the church. Mm-hmm. I grew up in the church. I mean, every damn day of the week, it was always something going on. We had to go to the damn church. But I appreciated it because now, like, you know, I look back, it was such a fun time, even though, like, I hated always being at church. But, you know, I was a kid. But, you know, my family, they're super into church. And then, like, they kind of made God and church, like, this very, like you have to do this. This is this. Mm-hmm. This is this. God is like this. You can't do that because God is watching you. You talk back to your parents, God is gonna get you. You can't disobey your parents.
Honor thy father and thy mother.
Honor thy father and thy mother.
Your days will be shortened. Your days will be shortened
all the time.
Your days will be shortened,
you
bitch.
know, like when I was younger, like they made it seem like God and Jesus were like these entities that were just waiting for you to fuck up. And
they was just send you to hell.
And they gonna send you straight to hell because you decided, you know, to go your own route versus the route that your parents wanted for you. So, you know, it was a very big tug of war, and it wasn't until I moved out of Corpus Christi and I realized that, you know,
religion don't have to be that difficult.
It doesn't have to be that difficult, and that God is not to be told to people. You can't tell me who God is, because God, Jesus, all of that. I believe in Jesus. I personally accepted him as my personal savior, all of that. I personally believe that type of experience, you have to experience that on your own. You can guide a person, mm-hmm. you know, like a child and you can teach him who God is or what God is, but to put this like identity on God, because God is so big and so vast, it's like you can't do that. A person has to experience God for themselves in order for them to really get to know who God is. And I think that in how I grew up, I feel like they use God more as like a weapon and manipulation.
I can agree with that.
And instead of allowing me to be the person that I'm supposed to be, who I actually am, you know, it was a lot of like, I don't like that, and since I'm your parent or I'm your grandparent, I know better, and if I say that I don't like that, then you need to listen to me, because if you don't listen to me, God is gonna get you.
That's how I felt. Like, so I'm Pentecostal.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really?
Yes. They speak in tongues. Mm-hmm. You need to tarry, the whole nine. So my mom's a little bit more of a liberal Christian, because my grandma was Baptist at one point and then changed over to Pentecostal. And when she changed over, my mom said one day my grandma came home, was like, okay, well, once you guys grow out of those pants, I'm no longer buying pants, because, you know, the Bible says you can't wear anything pertaining to a man. And so you guys will now be in dresses. And my mom's like, a kid, like, what? Like, I just come home and change everything. And so my mom and them, like, went to church 7 days a week, all that good stuff, like, lived in the church. And my mom, because of that, my mom raised us a bit differently. So, but when I used to go visit my grandma, my aunts and my grandma and my uncle and everyone, and they're from New Smyrna, felt very overly Christian growing up. And I talked to one of my aunts about this all the time. Mm-hmm. So when we grew up, you couldn't watch BET in my grandma's living room. You couldn't listen to secular music. On my dad's side, they were super religious. I remember I was listening to the Whitney Houston Bodyguard soundtrack. They took it away because it was like the devil. And like, you couldn't watch like anything on TV. I remember my grandma, they didn't wear hoop earrings. They always wore dresses. They couldn't have flamboyant nails. They couldn't go to the movies. It was like all these rules. And that was like my first thing of Christianity, was just like, well, this is like jail. Like, what are y'all doing? You can't do anything. And then it programmed you to think if you do anything, you're going to hell. Like, anything you're doing, you're going to hell. And that's a lot of pressure to put on a person when a person's trying to figure themselves out. And
especially
a kid. And then when you're just trying to figure stuff out. And then church was like super long. When I realized I got older, church didn't have to be 5 hours. Like, they used to do breakfast. So you're at church at like 9 o'clock eating breakfast. You're at Sunday school from 10 to 11.
You had the little icy orange juices.
Yeah. Like
the little peel back.
Yeah. It's like you go to breakfast and then you go to Sunday school, and then there's like a little gap where you can probably go to the corner store, and then there's church for 2.5 hours. So I've been at church from 9 to 2:30 basically. So it was like this, it felt more like punishment, and religion wasn't supposed to be punishment. God's not supposed to be punishment. It's not supposed to be this heavy thing of, if I don't do this right, I'm going to hell. And I had to literally, even though my mom was completely different, I had to kind of train myself, because when you're that young and you're going to church that much and you're doing all that stuff, and the majority of your family is doing that of that, and then you know your family looks at your mom like a sinner, because then my mom kind of threw away religion for a minute. Like, we went to church, but she kind of was just like, all right, we're going to church because I do believe there's a God and I do pray. I don't know if I believe all this, but I do believe in God, and I know there's different. So she had to like kind of find herself too. So it was just a lot. And then to now, because of course that happened, I'm 32 now, so that was like when I was a kid. And then to now, for time to go by, and now you can watch BET in my grandma's living room, and now they do wear pants and capris, and now they do listen to our India RE, and they do acknowledge like Jackson 5 music and like the oldies but goodies. It was like kind of shocking to me, because it's like, well, this is not how this started. So when did we get so liberal here? And why was it so hardcore back then? And then it felt cult-like. And people don't understand. Sometimes when you get into religion and you start hitting people with rules and
that's too much.
It becomes like a cult. It's like, is this a cult?
That's too much. You can't do certain things. You can't say certain things.
It wasn't until I got to like, honestly, I mean, my mom was a bit different, but honestly, my minor's in religion. I got a minor in religion from FAMU. And it wasn't until I started exploring other religions and started exploring, like I did African American in religion and like women in religion, and I started reading different things, you start to like realize it shouldn't be beaten to you the way they did it. And I was talking to my brother, who is all things pro-black, and he was like, well, because his struggle with religion, because he was raised by my grandma, his struggle with religion was taught to us. Christianity in this form was taught to us. He was like, you got to think about it. We didn't speak English. The Bible's in English. So what we were practicing in Africa wasn't what we necessarily practice here. I mean, that's the truth. Like, he was like, the slave owners used religion as like a way to kind of keep us tamed, which I do feel sometimes people take a Bible verse and twist it to fit their narrative. And he said slave owners were doing that because he told me about, I can't remember the scripture, but it was like Timothy chapter 1 verse 6. It basically was like, pay attention and love your master. It didn't say slave, it just said slaves should love their master, or something of another of that. And he was like, now read that and tell me that slave owners weren't telling people that and making them feel like if they didn't listen to them, they were going to go to hell. So, and he was like, you got to think they worked 6 days a week, and on the 7th day they had off, but then you have them teaching you or them picking a person to teach to you because now they're watching what you're learning. So he was like, he's like, so people still had to figure out Christianity. He was like, so that maybe that's why back in the day, grandma and them were like that, because essentially they were just being taught Christianity from somebody who was taught Christianity from somebody who was taught. So it's basically a learned experience. And he was like, because at the end of the day, I always say that if our family was Muslim, we would be Muslims. And I was like, you think so? He was like, I mean, really think about it. If you grew up to a Muslim family, that's all you know, so you're going to say you're Muslim. If you grew up to a Jewish family, you're going to say you're Jewish because that's all you knew. If your family are Buddhist, you grow up, you're a Buddhist. He was like, so a lot of religion and Christianity and what you are, he was like, you need to, it's a learned habit, but then he's like, you need to kind of go out and figure it out for yourself. You need to learn what your relationship is with God, or maybe isn't the word God or Jesus, maybe it's an alternative word, or alternate word for you. And I was like, because that really was like one of the things. Even now, I look at even some of my friends who I consider religious, it still throws me, I still kind of go back to my childhood when I see them like drinking and partying and being like liberal, I guess, Christians. And I was like, oh, well, you still going to hell because you drink. Or you still going to hell because you said a bad word.
But it's not that, like, you're not going to go to hell because you drink. It is about, it even says in the Bible, it's not about drinking. It is about controlling. So God doesn't like a drunk.
So Jesus likes vodka. You trying to tell me Jesus likes...
Jesus turned water into wine. That was one of his first miracles.
Jesus drank margaritas.
Let's not get it twisted.
Jesus drank margaritas.
Jesus turned water into wine. That was one of his first miracles.
Listen, he did.
Okay, but it says in the Bible, God doesn't like a drunk.
He did give y'all tilapia too. He did give y'all a whole bunch of tilapia.
First of all, I don't see that. I think that God doesn't, I think if we do things in excess, it causes problems.
Yeah, that's everything.
And when you do things in excess, God and God has a touch. Woo! And he'll put his touch on you.
When you put that touch on that cop car, that cop car hit, that was your hand.
And as an example for me, like, I know, there's just no doubt about it. God has such a presence in my life. Jesus has such a presence in my life. And I know it. I feel it every day. And I know I don't always do right. I don't always think the right things. I don't always say the right things. But I know for a fact that God has a hold on me. And when I was out there really drinking and just being super reckless with my life. And it wasn't even just like at this particular point even when I got arrested. This was before that. I remember I got really drunk one night and I passed out and I drove into the Ford dealership off of Southwest Freeway. Like they had this big ass
barrier, like the cloak thing so you can't get in.
You can't get in. I parked my car in front of the thing and just passed the fuck out. It's just these particular situations.
Somebody had to be there.
Somebody. And then I would just remember waking up like, oh shit, I need to go home. And then for a cop not to pass by and wonder why this car, like, it's just so many different things that have saved me from myself. So it is not about drinking. It is the awareness.
Anything that's kind of enabling you.
Yes, like it's the awareness. And it wasn't until I was in this relationship And this particular relationship was so toxic and damaging to me. It almost was like a mirror. And I kept asking God, why am I in this? Why am I in this? What the fuck? Like, why am I in this? Because I'm really drinking. I'm really just doing the most. And then when we broke up, I'm a mess. And it wasn't until I got arrested for a DUI and I had to go through this process. And I had to look at myself and be like, okay, what do I need to fix? And it wasn't until that moment that I realized, okay, I have to fix myself. But, and you know, now granted, I have my moments where I still kind of maybe drink a little too much. But I can honestly say that I don't drink as much as I used to. I know that I have a cutoff point. I know that, okay, if I'm thinking like, shit, I gotta really, really drive, I'm not gonna do this. Like, I will talk to myself. But before, I never did that. I'm like, fuck it. I'm driving, I'm drinking, I don't give a fuck. What happened?
My cock's out.
Yeah, rock out with my cock out. Yes. But, you know, I think that, like, it's not about that punishment thing, because we tend to think that God is just this punisher.
Yeah, he ready. He just ready. He's
ready
to
crack the whip on you.
And that's not necessarily true, because even when I look at my DUI,
he's not. It could have been worse. It could have been worse.
It could have been worse. It was a long time coming as well.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like I hit this cop car and it was super random occasion. It wasn't that random. Mm-hmm. If we really sit down and talk, one day I'll run down every time something has happened with me in a car and being drunk and how I got out of it. And my stories are legend. I'm talking about freeway shit. I'm talking about driving home and my whole hood is like bent up. I'm talking about like ridiculous stories that it had to be a presence. It was God. Mm-hmm. And, you know, because I think it might have been my aunt. It could have been my aunt or my grandma. One of them, because all my family's like prayer warriors and on the church board and mother of the churches and all that good stuff and over the choir, all that, you know. On the praise team, shout out to all y'all. But I remember they said that God like whispers to you at first. Mm-hmm. And so for so many years, God was whispering. And then it was like, he gets a little louder. So then stuff started. So initially I was getting into little hiccups. And then it got a little bigger. And then it got a little bigger. And to the point where God just yelled and I hit the cop car. Mm-hmm. And granted, I hit this cop car with the person inside the cop car. No one died. I still was able to get bonded out the next day. Mm-hmm. And the repercussions to it was very minimal in comparison to me spending 33 years in jail because I killed somebody, or even minimal to what I did. Because originally what they were trying to, you know, plead me out to was extreme, and then it ended up being essentially this little bit, and not that I take it for granted, it ended up being like, oh, that's it? Like a slap on the wrist to the point that it might be too easy to go back and do the same thing again, like that. So I knew then, because I always say that I've always been saved. Because I've always believed in God, and I haven't talked to God as much as I talked to God more, but not as much as I should have back in the day. And, you know, so I always said it was my grandmother's prayers that always saved me, a praying grandmother, because my grandma wake up every morning, and I have a lot of cousins. It's like 20 of us, because my grandma has 6 kids. It's like, and they adopt a lot over my grandma and my aunts. So it's about 20 of us, it feels like. And my grandma calls us out by name. And I always tell my grandma, make sure she puts me in the top 3 because I think I need it more than everybody else. And I usually am, like when I hear, like when I stay in my grandma's house and she wakes up and prays, I hear her and she full praise. I'm talking about speaking in tongues, walking around the house, pray. I'm talking about when a hurricane came, she was outside during the hurricane putting oil on the stop sign saying, you gonna stop right here. You're not gonna come down the street. And let me tell you about that hurricane. That hurricane didn't go past that stop sign though. That hurricane didn't go. Like my grandma's like that. My grandma's the type that you call with your oil in your hand and you anoint your house and you anoint your stuff.
I love it.
So I really genuinely think it was her prayers that has kept me kept all these years. And then when I got the DUI, I remember thinking her prayers was kind of wearing off. And I was like, dang, is she losing her juice? But then I realized that it wasn't for her to carry my relationship with God, and it wasn't her.
You gotta do it.
Yeah, it wasn't her to keep me. I can't float on her prayers the rest of my life. Even though I do think my grandma got God's self on the book. But her relationship with God wasn't going to keep my relationship with God. And me hitting that cop car was the first time like I had full repercussions. I'm talking about I done did some stuff where I done crashed the car and got a new car the next day type stuff. So to hit the cop car in incredible fashion the way I did, and to have to like deal with the repercussions that weren't even as bad as they should have been, I knew her prayers were still working, but that was God. Like, all right, your grandma can't save you, girl. You better start talking. You better hit me. You better beat me on the 911, girl.
You better call us to that main line.
Girl, you better get to the
and tell them what you want.
Hey, Jesus on the main line. Tell them what you want. Yes, you better tell Jesus what you want. And that was like the first time I was like, okay. So let's talk about Christianity and how I feel about religion and how I feel about my family and religion and myself within religion and the whole nine. Because too, a lot of me, even with church, I knew a lot of shady stuff that was going on in a church. So it's like, y'all are telling me all this stuff. People are telling you all this stuff. Literally, your pastor is telling you all this stuff and getting caught up. And my little brother went through a situation like that. And he's in Tallahassee, Florida. And he was going to the church. He was going to church every Sunday. He loved his pastor, got his child baptized. My brother was on it. He was ready to walk around, knocking on y'all doors, telling y'all about Jesus, okay? And then his pastor was sleeping with somebody in the church, got caught by the husband. The husband chased him out the house. He naked, hiding in some bushes. This is the pastor. And so my brother kind of felt away and kind of turned a little bit from church because of that. And then it's like, then they tell you, oh, it's not about the pastor, it's about the word. But it's like, I kind of want my pastor to kind of...
See, that's another problem. Like, you cannot... That's why I say God is to be experienced on a one-on-one. Yes, go to church, have the ceremonial thing. Have that experience. But God is to be experienced on a one-on-one level. And I personally feel that is paramount. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to get into heaven based off of what your preacher, your pastor did. No, it is you. It is you. You didn't come into this world with a word from your pastor. You're not going to die with the word from... No, it is you. It is you. And, like, I used to think like that. Like, damn, I don't want to go to these churches because I don't like the what the pastors preaching, or I don't like their lifestyle. Because I started seeing, like, I remember I worked at Olive Garden.
Y'all mega churches.
So it's just two stories, right? So one, it was I went to Joel Osteen's church, and I was so turned off by this whole mega church thing because
it's the business of the mega church.
I personally, I grew up, I mean, on a good Sunday, a real good Sunday with 75 fucking people in our church. I was the head, well, I wasn't the head usher, my grandmother was, so that technically under her.
So you thought she was important down to the church. She was important down to the church.
I was important down to my church.
I remember Easter, like, we used to give Easter speeches. That's the church I come from.
So, you know, I would do the head count. On a good Sunday, 75 to 100 people. I go to Lakewood. It's a billion ultralight beams. It's like stereo risers and
black screens everywhere.
The nigga popping up on the stage like, hey, like what the fuck?
Do you believe in Jesus?
Like what the, like, seriously. And I got so turned. And then they're like, okay, well, if you want to rededicate your life to Christ, everybody stand up. You know, I'm used to coming down to the altar.
You used to talking to the pastor
I'm used to talking to the pastor himself. The pastor asking me my name.
Knowing me. Saying they know your family.
Knowing me. I'm used to going to the altar. Not standing up. That shit turned me off. So I'm just like, man, I can't fuck with these mega churches. I don't like it. I don't like that. it's too businessy. It's way too
y'all
stuffy.
selling Starbucks in the lobby.
Like you know, it's too much for me.
I like my churches to have regular grits, that sausage patty. I just like
with that nasty ass orange juice that come in that little cup that you gotta peel back.
I like my churches like that. I like y'all to have a vending machine with 50-cent sodas in the back. I like somebody grandma cooking me some pound cakes and red velvet cakes for $1.50.
They got that small ass.
Shout out to my auntie Cookie, because I used to sell her little cake. I used to do her little cakes and pies at the end of the service. I like my churches like that.
Yes.
I don't like to go up there and I can tell y'all want me an Italian BMT on wheat, no lettuce, extra tomato and cucumbers. I don't. Something about that don't sit my soul.
No,
my soul don't fit that.
But again, it's like people make it seem like, oh, you have to go to church, you have to do this, you have to do this in order to get to God. God is omnipresent. God is everywhere at the same time.
I like my church with a sick and shut-in list.
A sick and shut-in, okay?
That's my church. Sick and shut in.
And so, like, I just think that for people to glory, and I think that's what a lot today in this day and age, pastors are so glorified to be these, you know, people, and it's like they're human beings.
And some of y'all need to. I don't like. For me personally, I don't like mega churches because I used to talk to a pastor down to a mega church. Won't say which one. Like talk to him. Like
married,
fornicate. He wasn't married. Was he married? Could have been married. No, he wasn't married. Think about that, girl. Because I have been.
You know they good for being married.
I have been a Jezebel out in these streets. Okay. I used to talk to this pastor. Well, it was like the head pastor, and he was like the deacon board. So I talked to a deacon, and so it was like a mega.
Bitch, did you get to sit front row?
I did have some perks in the church.
Did you?
I had some perks,
bitch.
But like the thing was he used to like turn up with me, and I remember that being like, you can't trust no one. You down to these people church. You down here telling them to get their life right and all this other stuff. But yet me and you are like hanging out in bars outside the city, because we didn't party in the city he was in. But we used to party like the city's probably an hour, 45 minutes away. So we out partying, drinking, having a good old time. And then you go preach to these people on Sunday, and you hold the Bible, and you hold the hands of the other people, and you trying to tell people to get themselves together, when essentially, do you really have yourself together? I don't really think so, because you're right, because it wasn't even just me. I remember we got into it because he was talking to some other girl as well. So it was like, do you really? Yeah. Oh, he was out here, and it was at a mega church, and he was on their payroll, and he made really good money.
Oh, I'm sure he did.
And that was the thing too. And then when I moved to Houston, when I started bartending, I remember I used to bartend for like these older guys, and they always came in. And then one used to come in, have a couple of drinks. It was like, oh yeah, because I got to go to the deacon meeting. Like he was on the deacon board. And it just never, I still kind of have the old school mentality. Like, how you in this bar having crying apples and cranberries, and then you about to go down to the church and talk church business? But then with those mega churches, church business really be about the money. Church business probably is about the promotions. Church business is about how they're trying to get more money.
Church nowadays is about business.
And then, because I knew somebody who turned into a pastor, and I'm not gonna lie, anything prior to him being a pastor, I mean, he got a following and everything. Before that, I was like, that was a business move. You just didn't want to work. You didn't want to work in for a corporation and have to clock in somewhere. You wanted to work on your own time. You were naturally a leader. People naturally listened to what you said. I kind of felt like you started a church for a business purpose, and you knew that you could. I mean,
what's the best way to get some money? Hey, y'all, building fund. Ties. What?
And that was my thing, because, pay your tithes so you can get blessed. I kind of changed my tithing into helping people. So I'm making a point now to, like, do things for people who need it. Because sometimes it's like, I'm paying for your house.
And that's another thing that
even at, who was that? Cleflo Dollar who wanted a G5? Oh, sir, no ma'am.
So, my grandpa's sister, she has a mega church. And I low-key, and this is probably going to cause a little ruffles being feathered, but you know what? I'm just going to speak it, because I feel like
your family probably don't listen to this podcast. No way.
They probably don't. I think somebody does, but eventually it's going to be her. Anyway,
If it gets repeated,
I know.
You know somebody.
But no, I low-key...
You narc.
I low-key feel like my grandpa's sister's church is very cultish. And when we had went to Oklahoma, and her church is in Oklahoma, and I remember we went to Oklahoma, and you know, again, this is my great aunt, so I'm not looking at her as anything other than my great aunt who preaches. And,
right? It's something about people who you know, and it's like, oh, I'm a pastor, huh? When it happened.
So, you know, and I'm just like, you know, okay, cool, you know, whatever. So we go to the church.
Amen.
And when I say these people were like, I'll never freaking forget that shit. Like, they were following her, like, as if she
like Benny
was,
Hinn. You remember Benny Hinn? Oh my God, Benny Hinn was like, maybe it's just an Orlando thing. Benny Hinn used to blow on people and they used to pass out.
Oh, that's exactly how she is. Like, I mean, this group of people were just like, literally, like, she could sneeze and somebody was right there with the tissue.
Yes!
Like,
I think of the goodness of Jesus and all he's done for me. Come on,
soul cries out.
Thank you for saving me.
So, we walking around, they showing us around the new building or whatever.
Come
and then
on.
I see these plaques. And so I'm reading it and I'm walking with my grandpa and I'm like, and it says apostle, you know, like these certificates of apostle. And I'm just like, well, and I asked him, I said, isn't the apostles that's like Jesus's people? And my grandpa was like, yeah. I was just like, but she got a certificate that says she's an apostle.
How she do
And
that?
then he was like, yeah. And I was like, so how did she get that? Like, who did she go through? The Vatican? Like,
Jesus come down and give you that?
Who appoints you as an apostle? And he was just like, I ain't even trying to get into it. And I was just like, but no, I have questions. And these people are calling her apostle.
Come on.
And I'm just like, who ordained her to be, like, how does that process work? Because that's a pretty, like,
heavy title.
Do you, like, I don't know. What's the process? Do you go into
an application?
Like,
is it online? Do I need to go down
like
to somebody's church?
Like, who?
Is it like pledging?
Is it like pledging?
Is it like pledging?
So I had a lot of questions. I remember I was like, it was right before I moved to Houston because I had gotten in trouble. So my mom made me go with them.
Listen, Moki, I got in trouble in high school. My mama made me go see the Passion of Christ.
Yeah. Oh, really?
I had to go see the Passion of Christ when I got in trouble. I think I might have lost my virginity. And it was something stupid. And she was like, we're going to see the Passion of Christ.
I was right after I graduated, and I got shit-faced drunk. And I've made an ass of myself.
There can be. Oh, what's the other movie my mom made me see? With Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey. There can be. The cartoon.
That was
I did like that though.
I know exactly what
but she did use the Passion of Christ as a punishment.
Yeah, so my punishment was going to Oklahoma to see this mega church.
God, you needed Jesus. God's trying to tell you something.
But I had questions because and then, she had this house. Her house was huge, and she had just rolled up. And this is when the Cadillac trucks just came out, and it was real shiny, and it was black. And I'm like, damn.
You thought about being a pastor, didn't you?
I thought about being a pastor.
I'm a leader.
But, it's just like shit like that made me question. And then I remember, right when me and my ex-boyfriend were kind of like going through some shit, she had came to we were in Corpus, and we had like all like prayed in a circle or whatever. And she had said some shit that I was like, damn, ain't nobody know that. Like, she really like touched by the Spirit. Oh shit. Like, she be saying some shit. So she gave me she put her phone number in my cell phone. She was like, whenever you need me, call me. And I'm thinking like, family, wow, that's tough. Like, I feel that, right?
I feel you.
So I was going through it with my ex, and I called her, and I was just like, hey, do you have a second to talk? And she was just like, hey, niece, yeah, what's up? And then I was just like, kind of like, tell her the situation, and I was just like, yo, like, you prayed whenever we were in Corpus the last time. You said something in your prayer, and it really touched me, and I feel that, and I just need to talk about it. She goes, well, honey, I'm getting ready to go to a thing, so, whatever I said in the prayer, that obviously God just wanted you to hear that, so go ahead and just roll with that. She said gonna tell me whatever the Lord spoke to me at that time.
Listen,
that's what I need to roll with.
Listen, the Lord's work is around the clock, man. You don't get to choose when I need him. Since you want to be the gatekeeper to Jesus, you answer my phone calls anytime and give me what I need from the Lord.
When I tell you I was so disgruntled about that, I was just like, you know what? This shit is fake. That shit is fake. Y'all is fake. Y'all out here trying to talk about Jesus. Jesus was on the clock 24/7. Okay? He's still working miracles.
And you know what? Y'all need to stop saying Jesus was talked about too every time somebody talk about y'all. y'all,
what's your favorite phrase? What's your favorite phrase?
That right there. You know they talked about Jesus. Nigga, that does not apply to you sleeping with that girl boyfriend and everybody talking about you on campus. That is not what that means. Stop using Jesus as your scapegoat now, God. Because I hate people who like beef all the time and be like, but my God has taken care of me. You started this. Stop using. Listen, y'all gonna let us stop using God as a weapon. Don't be throwing Jesus into everything. Sometimes Jesus is up there minding his business.
I read a quote today on Twitter that said, oh, I retweeted it. Hold on, let me find
y'all
it.
Really just be dead out here using God, and that really just offends y'all. That offends me.
There is a quote on Twitter, and it touched my spirit.
What's your favorite Bible story?
My favorite Bible story is Abraham's story.
Father Abraham had many sons. Had many sons, Father Abraham. I am one of them, and so are you.
So Abraham's. Oh, actually, it's two of them. So let me read. Okay, never mind. I didn't tweet it. I just liked it. Anyways, so it's two of them. So I love the story how Abraham, he went to sacrifice his son, and God told him to sacrifice his son, and he went to the hill to go sacrifice his son, and the angel said to Abraham, don't touch the boy. There's a ram's head in the grass. And basically the story that God will always provide. And I pretty much live by that because, you know, it's just like we ask God for things, and, you know, sometimes God will, those things that we've asked for, God will give it to us, and God will test us to see where we're at in our faith, and, you know, and require that back. And so I just love that story. And I also love the story of Moses and how he, his initial interactions with God. So, you know, when he went to the burning bush and God was speaking to him through the burning bush. And it was this conversation of, you know, Moses was telling God, like, you know, I stutter, I'm this, I'm that. You know, like, who am I to tell the Pharaoh all these things that you want me to say? Like, who do I tell him? Who do I tell him that sent me? And you know, God's response was, I tell him that I am who I am sent you. And I don't know why, I just love that. I just think that, I don't know, it just speaks to my spirit. I just love that because God is like, I am who I am.
Yeah, that's
and tell him I am sent you. And I just think that that's just I don't know. I just really love that story. What's yours?
Mine's is because one recently, for real, it was the truth. I think it was like 2 Corinthians. It was either like verse 9 or verse 7. I can't remember. It was about being a cheerful giver and don't give with like malice, and don't give hoping that you'll get something back. And I don't know, that resonated with me because like I said, lately I've been trying to do things for other people, like, and not because I need something and not because I want something, but just because it makes other people feel good. And I told a story on Facebook. I told my testimony on Facebook about a watch I bought my aunt, and it was originally a purse. And at the time, I looked at how much it cost, and I just didn't feel like paying that. Because sometimes when you hit submit, that's like your money just gone instantly.
Already.
So it was like, I kind of seen the purse. I picked this purse out. I knew she would love it. And she's definitely one of those. She's like my little Oprah. She gives, she cares about everyone. She gives out everything. She'll give you the shirt off her back. And I looked at the price. And at that moment, it was just, I wasn't feeling it. So I was telling my mom about it. And she was like, well, God wants you to be a cheerful giver. And I'm like, what? And so then my mom's like, go read 2 Corinthians. It might have been like verse 9 or verse 7. I read it, and it's basically like, you should give without, you know, malice. And you should give without hoping to get something. And I'm going to tell y'all why it resonated with me, because I went back to it was Michael Kors, because saved people like Michael Kors. So I know church people really do like Michael Kors. Church people and hood rats. And then if you really want to up it, be a hood rat that go to church and love God. Michael Kors is all through their house. So I went back on Michael Kors' website, and it was Mother's Day weekend. So everything was sold out because, you know, hood rats and church people. And it was Mother's Day. So I went to go get the purse, and the purse was gone, and then my second option was gone as well, sold out. And I was just like, oh man, I missed out on the purses because they were her. So I was like, all right. So she wears watches. So I went online, and she had like multiple watches. So I went to the watch section of Michael Kors and found this nice white and gold watch. And I was like, okay, so this is it. I'm going to get this. I'm super happy. I was super excited for that day. Like, I had a good day, so I was like super excited. I knew she would love it. And she was graduating college, actually. It was my aunt. So I was like, oh my gosh, she's really going to love this watch. I can't wait to give it to her. So they send it to you. I didn't even know people are this fancy. They send it to you, but when you can send it to them through email or text or whatever, and then they have the option to exchange it before it's even mailed to them. So you don't have to have their address or anything. Because I was like, dang, I was going to send it to my grandma's house. So I put my information in, put her name in, put her email address in. They send it on over to her. She gets it. She's super excited, very thankful. She was actually in church, you know, saved people. She was like, oh man, I'm doing something, so I don't have any reception. So I know whatever it is, I love it already. So she hadn't even seen it yet. And I was like, oh, she's so sweet. I love her. So then she sees it and she's super excited, and it just made me feel really, really good. And I gave like from my heart. It was pure. I was happy to do it. You know, when I hit submit, I didn't feel no type of way about my money being gone like that, because I watch one cheap, and I was just excited. So an hour later, I'm in my room and I'm trying on clothes, and I was trying on some pants, and they were really long, and I was trying to figure out what shoes would look right with them. So I go in my closet and I have a pair of shoes, and it's 2 of them, and they're the same color. One's pink, one's black. So I went to grab the pink ones because I just wanted to try on one, and everything about all the shoes fall over in my closet. So I stack everything back up, and then I end up grabbing the shoes that were black. I open up the box. It's money in the box. It's like $150 in the box.
Come on, God.
And it
bless.
Yes, and it literally covered the watch.
Bless.
So I was just like, God likes a cheerful giver. Look at Jesus working overtime.
Bless it.
And so like that, like I'm just
bless
like
it, sis.
that. And then like outside of like stories, I've always liked David and Goliath, and more so because sometimes just life seems overwhelming. It's not necessarily about the fact that, you know, David gave Goliath the paws, but I looked at it as sometimes life is overwhelming, and you feel like such a little person with big obstacles or big dreams, or just life could be a lot at times. And it's like, no matter how small or how insecure or how afraid you are, you can conquer anything. You can fight anything. You stand in your truth. You stand in your beliefs.
Tell your
you
truth.
Stand in all of you. And with God, anything is possible.
Come on.
So
preach it.
I've always liked that story.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, like I said, and like you said, religion, it is definitely, that's one thing I did like about going to FAMU and then getting a minor. And I got my minor in religion only because I needed to get one. Well, when I got ready to graduate, it was like, you need a minor. And I was like, holy crap, I can't do another semester of college. I'm already here a semester too late. And they looked at my transcript and they were like, oh, you have enough religion classes to have a minor in religion. But the only reason I always took religion was because I always registered late, you know, being a procrastinator. And the only electives that were always left were religion. So I kind of got my religion degree by default, because I've always was taking them because I was just basically late to register. But going through the religion courses and then just meeting people and then seeing other people's relationships with God, it allowed me to take some pressure off of me and my relationship with God, because I thought I had to be like an A-type, an A+ student, didn't do nothing, couldn't have fun, couldn't go out, couldn't make
God
mistakes.
God don't want that.
And it's like, I don't think it's that hard. And honestly, as I get older, I just don't think it's that hard to get into heaven like I was originally told.
No.
I don't
God just
believe
wants
that.
you to be a good person.
Yeah, be a good person.
Let me tell you something. So, like, my dad and we have been, like, at odds for the past couple years. And so, on this particular situation, we were in disagreement about a truck that I bought from him, and we were not seeing eye to eye on this price. So
yeah, money will do it.
No, so
Money.
we weren't seeing eye to eye, and I eventually got the funds to pay for whatever. I asked him how much to get the title, basically, for the truck, and he told me a number. I thought it wasn't an accurate amount, but I said, you know what, fuck it, let's just do the deal. Did the transaction, got the title. So he sends me like this crazy ass message, like basically telling me he didn't want a relationship with me anymore. He was done. He was over it. You know, he was tired of the bullshit between him and I. And I mean, just all this like super negative stuff, right? And in that moment, I literally clicked, and I was just like, oh, I'm going off. I'm going ham.
Who the F you
Who
talking
the
to?
fuck you think you
Let me
talking
tell you something,
to?
nigga.
I swiped my hair to the left and to the right, and I was about to get my fingers
Red.
to texting. But then I personally feel like it was the spirit that
God
came over
stepped
me.
in.
And God said, speak Bible verses. Any Bible verse that you know.
Girl, so what Bible verses was you said? Did they make sense in the situation?
Yes, they did.
Oh.
It was mostly about love.
Okay.
So-
I just need you not to be like
No.
talk about David and the Lion's Den. I don't think David and the Lion's Den will work there.
Right, but basically, I, and it's so like I said, the Lord has a grip on me
God is
because
love.
when He speaks, I hear it, and I have to fall back from myself and do what I'm told to do. So in that moment, I mean, when I tell you this, my dad was like texting me some like crazy ass shit, like shit you don't text your daughter. And you know, I was crying, my feelings was hurt, I was ready to cuss his ass out, I was ready to say fuck you back, all this shit, right? And God was just like, don't do that. Talk Bible verses. So I started sending him Bible verses, and I was just like, you know, love is patient, love is kind, love sees no, you know, like all that type of stuff. And then I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to allow this negative come in between us. I said, Dad, I love you. I love you. I love you. I don't know what you're going through, but I'm praying for you, and I'm praying that God pulls you through this, and I'm praying that God allows you to see that I want us to have a relationship. I'm praying that God allows you to know that I am very genuine in what I'm asking. And I'm not, is nothing. I said, this whole situation is over. We weren't talking for like 2-3 years. I'm over it. And I forgive you. Forgive me. Let's move on. Girl, I just started speaking like, you know, life into, I felt, what was a dead situation. And his response was like, it was almost like a shift. And it was just like, I'm sorry, I love you. Let's,
That's so sweet.
you know, like when I tell you, like, Ebony, when I say this motherfucker sent me some crazy shit. And I remember it like it was yesterday. So, like, you know, it's just like one of those things, like, yo, y'all, like, God is super real, but it's always to be, he can't be told. Like, God is not somebody that you can
You have to experience
tell
it.
somebody about. God is...
I mean, they tell people to tell you about Jesus.
Yes.
And in a sense you should, but you should tell and fall back.
And fall back.
Or let people come to you and seek as
Yes.
well. You know,
Yeah,
when y'all knocking on my door
absolutely.
on Saturday, because one time...
That's not it.
Let me
That
tell
ain't
y'all.
it.
Let me tell y'all.
That ain't it.
True story. Some Jehovah's Witnesses was knocking on my door. I was in college. I was hung the hell over. I was on my way to go to Denny's to get some food and to try to figure out if I need to drink a beer or a Bloody Mary to knock my hangover off. So they banging on my door. I'm like opening the door as they're getting ready to knock. And they like, basically, you ready for Jehovah's return? And I was like, look, ma'am, I'm hung. No, I tried to be polite. I was like, no, ma'am. And then, you know, they really be shoving their little pamphlets in your face. And I was like, look, ma'am, I'm hung over. I don't have time for this shit. And I just walked off. So
Yeah,
don't knock
that's
on my
real
door.
shit.
Let me find. I seek you.
Yeah.
But I'm one of them people.
Yeah.
But that's that. And I mean, to wrap it up, and it might not be God for you. You could be whatever your higher being is.
Yeah, whatever it is.
You know, you should seek it and should want it, because it is very much so as a freeing feeling. And I know this sounds ridiculous, but I used to be obsessed with Dawson's Creek growing up. And, you know, Jen was an atheist. True story. Jen was an atheist on Dawson's Creek. And you remember, like, their series finale, they fast-forwarded the show, like, 5-10 years or something. So they were, like, adults. And I think Jen was dying of cancer, so she made these videos for them to show her daughter when she gets of age. And I will never forget it, because Jen was an atheist the whole entire time. And Jen's grandma was super religious. She had a praying grandma, even though she was, well, I guess, it seems like praying grandmas are always black, but I guess you can have a white praying grandma, too. But anyway,
don't discriminate.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it just seemed like praying grandmas
are black.
But you know, and prayer warriors is like whatever. But anyway, so Jen made this video and she said, "Make sure my daughter believes in God, or make sure she believes in something." She was like, because even though I didn't, she needs to be able to feel that when she's alone, that there is somebody with her. So please make sure she believes in God. Just make sure she believes in something, because I don't want her to ever feel alone. And I remember watching that, and that resonated with me, because to me, that's like what it is. When life gets hard and you can't talk to your mother and you can't talk to your best friend and you're by yourself, you need to feel that there's somebody with you. I mean, it might sound crazy, when I was DUI'd, sitting in jail, like, I knew God was with me, because I knew it could have been a lot worse. I wasn't injured. Nobody else was injured. I hit 2 cop cars and walked away with it. Didn't get 5 shots in my skull behind it, you know? And just in general, when you're just sitting alone in your house by yourself and you feel down, the presence of, essentially for me, is God and Jesus, whatever it is for you guys, whatever word you use or whatever name you call. It's a freeing feeling that you're not alone, that you can get through the toughest situations, that you do have a helping hand, that somebody is just there. And that's a feeling that I think everybody should feel.
Absolutely.
Regardless of what you call it.
So I was telling you how I went into this reentry program graduation, right? And I was telling you about the lady who had 4 felonies and all the shit. So she basically kind of said the same thing. She said that she was in solitary confinement for like, so she was in prison for what, like maybe 10 years? And she said she was in solitary confinement for half of that. And she said that, and it wasn't until she was in solitary confinement, she said, like, nobody could help her. Her mom couldn't help her. Her family, nobody could help her. And she said it wasn't until I just said, Jesus, help me. She said she wasn't a real spiritual person. She wasn't anything like, you know, whatever. But she said she sat in her cell and she said, Jesus, help me. And she said after she cried that out, she just automatically felt better.
Yeah, you feel calm. And you should. That, I mean, essentially that really is what it is. To have somebody in your corner when you feel like there's nobody in your
nobody corner. Can help you. It's just you.
It's just you and this
like you
feeling.
So she was, and you know, that really touched me, because I'm just like, damn, that's real. Like when nobody can fucking help you. Like, nobody can help you.
Listen.
Nobody can reach you. Nobody can get to you. Nobody can say something. You can't call your mama.
And God is in everything, too. Y'all need to, I'm telling you, ain't nothing more moving. I know it sounds crazy. I remember Oprah did this thing for, like, all, like, the black actresses and black entertainment women. And they had, like, a Sunday church. And I remember, like, they had, like, Shaka Khan and Patti LaBelle and Shirley Caesar and all these black people, Yolanda Adams. Even though Yolanda Adams, I Open Up My Heart, really does sound like an R&B song, but neither here nor there. They had all these black women singing, and I'm like, that is God. Like, them singing, and how, like, everybody, I'm talking about white people was all Barbara Walters, and all these, like, white professionals was like, I've never experienced something like that. It is that feeling.
It is a feeling, baby.
Amazing.
It's a tingling in your spine.
Girl, I feel like we need to give a benediction after this, girl.
What's your favorite gospel song?
What? I do like the old school music that my grandma sing at the church, but I remember my first time realizing that gospel music could be somewhat fun was BB and CC Winans.
Come on, BB.
I remember like my aunties had to take. Remember, people didn't really like BB and CC because they wasn't singing.
They're very controversial.
Yeah, they're a little controversial.
That's controversial.
I mean, the music done changed a little bit now. I mean, people ain't tripping. But I remember like day by day, your normal reaction. You were my center attraction. I remember when my auntie had that on cassette tape. Yes. I'm lost without you. Yes. I was like, yes. And then I remember they were, and you know that was controversial. They was on the Arsenio Hall show, and Whitney was singing background for them. And I just like remember watching that as a kid, like, okay, being safe can be fun. That was
being
like,
safe
can be fun. Like, it was like, this is a good, because it wasn't like, because I was so used to like Mississippi Mass Choir and John P. Key and like
come on, John
church.
P. Key.
And it was like, oh, it got a beat to it. Come on. I'm lost. Okay, BB and CC.
I remember when Kirk Franklin did that. Stomp.
And do you want a revolution? Whoop, whoop. Yo, Kirk Franklin get played in the club. So I'm with Kirk Franklin too. I just listened to Smelly the other day. I do like Mary, even though, you know, Tina's terrible. I guess down to the Marys. I do.
I love Let the Church Say Ain't Nothing Can Bring a Tear to My Eye. Like that song.
Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all.
Let the church say amen.
I'm gonna tell y'all what really changed my life for real. The Preacher's Wife soundtrack with Whitney Houston. Listen, y'all want to say whatever y'all want to say about Whitney, but that girl,
in you and me.
That girl was touched by God in a way that nobody else could. I don't care. That was
the Preacher's Wife soundtrack.
Girl,
yikes!
Whitney at the highest of her addiction. If Whitney sang a gospel song, y'all
imagine a king.
Y'all felt that. Whitney, that girl, that
chills.
Whitney, no matter what, Whitney knew Jesus.
Mommies
and daddies always believe. Listen, I'm gonna tell you though, I really do like Ilana's I Open Up My Heart, but I originally thought that was a song about her and her nigga breaking up. Ilana, because Ilana Harry took me a minute. Alone in a room.
It's just me and you.
I'm like, oh, what your nigga did?
I'm so lost.
She was lost.
I don't know what to do.
Tell me that's not a relationship.
Now what if I choose?
What did she choose?
The wrong thing to do.
I'm telling you.
Come on,
she said she was afraid of disappointing you, and she said she needed guidance. And I was like, oh, so it ain't a nigga? Jesus. Oh.
So I need to talk to you.
Still.
And ask you for your guidance. Especially today.
Come on, God.
When my world is so cloudy. Guide me until I'm sure I open up my eyes.
It took a minute for me to realize because
she was opening up her heart to the Lord.
I didn't know she was like, when you start off alone in the room, just me and you. I'm like, oh, what Yolanda got going on?
Yeah.
But and I think too why 90s music and earlier like Black women singing was so good because everybody originally started off at church. Everybody's story was like, yeah, so I used to be the lead singer in the choir.
But you know what? All good singers are in the church.
Yeah, that's why some of this music kind of falling off. People don't want to admit it because them people was toning their skills down to the church on Sunday and Wednesday.
Because they have to.
Yeah.
They had to. Because choir rehearsal, you have to go to choir rehearsal.
You have to go to choir rehearsal. And you did have to sing in children's choir. And
you have to sing in children's choir.
If you sung good enough, you can go to adult choir, you know.
Yep. It was teen choir.
Teen choir.
Young adults.
Young adults.
That's what it was. Young adults.
But yeah, so that's it, guys. I mean, I will give y'all a big benediction all our ways and acknowledge him.
And he shall direct our path.
Yeah. In Jesus' name, everybody say
amen. Let the church say amen. All right.
I'm really hating to do this to y'all because we do have a letter. We're going to call this section, actually, Moesha's Diary.
Okay.
So, this week in Moesha's Diary, and girl, I had to find your letter on SoundCloud. Y'all need to send these letters to recoveringpartygirls. Letters at Gmail. But I'm not going to hold that against you.
We're not here for that.
I found it. I found this one randomly. But, so, we're going to call her Eartha Kitt. So, Eartha Kitt writes, good afternoon, I have a dilemma. My roommate is the greatest roommate ever and one of my best friends. Lately, she's been having the most aggressive smell from her vajayjay. I initially thought the smell happened because one day we went to a festival and it was hot and we were all sweating. And even though the smell wasn't musky, it was toxic, so I knew it wasn't the day's events. All the girls in the room mentioned the odor, but she acted clueless. Since then, it's been a few more times she's reeked. It's to the point where some of our classmates and mutual friends have been joking about her odor. It has literally become a running joke. How do I tell her vagina smells like a dumpster? I don't want to offend her.
Just like this, sis, your vagina smells like a dumpster. We need to do something.
No, that'll offend her. You don't tell somebody their vagina smells like a dumpster.
But again, if that's the friend, hey man, hey. You can't even do like indirect, like buy her some like dishes or whatever. Do they still sell dishes?
They said, I have some dishes. Are they bad for you?
I don't know. They said the ecosystem down there
naturally cleans you out.
Yeah,
but I still have dishes.
Maybe you just pull her to the side and just give it to her real. But of course, think about what you say. It's not what you say, is how you say it. So I would definitely just be like, hey, I smell it. I know you smell it.
Girl, you smell yourself.
I know when my odor is off. So listen. I know that if I can smell it, other people can smell it. So I would there's no, you can't get around the awkwardness of the conversation. You just can't. Awkward. It's always going to be awkward. It's just going to be what it is. I suggest you just take it on head on. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. I would definitely have to nip that in the bud, because you don't want to be going around with no funky monkey and everybody talking about her, and she's like talking about, oh, let's pop it.
Everybody like spread out from the club when she's trying to drop it like it's hot. Ain't nobody want to smell it. Child, dishes are so gross. I remember growing up, I didn't realize what a dish was, so I
didn't know what it was.
I used to play with my mom in the shower.
I used to play with mine too, because it like squirts all the water. My mom had water
and play with it. That is so effing gross. Throw your dishes away.
I had no idea. She had it in her little, with her hair, mixed in with her hair. I've never seen.
Like, why am I playing with your dishes? That is gross.
But I didn't know what it was.
I didn't either.
Because I just thinking it's a little squirt.
Yeah, because all the little holes. Never mind. But neither here nor there. I just thought about I used to play with my mama dishes. But anyway, so listen, Eartha Cat.
It's not about what you say, it's how you say it.
Cause listen, and the thing is, she knows she smell. Cause I'm gonna tell y'all, when I've been off, I've known. I remember I called my friend and was like, listen, I smell like a McDonald's fish fillet. What the fuck is going on? Cause I initially always think I'm about to die. Anytime anything's off with me, I think I'm dying, and I think the worst of the worst of the worst. So I called my homegirl and I'm just like, I don't know why I smell like fish and chips. This is getting ridiculous. And she was just like, calm down, girl. It happens because, your pH. Sometimes it can be serious, but sometimes your pH can be off. And that can happen for many reasons. Mm-hmm. That can happen from what you're eating, what you're not eating. That could be if you use something like a different soap, or, maybe you dish and you really shouldn't be dishing. Maybe you're overly dishing. Mm-hmm. It's different things that can... Certain wipes, certain tissues, and plus my vagina is very sensitive, so all that spraying Victoria's Secrets on my vagina would have that shit flaming. So I don't, I personally, for me, when something's off, I know and I smell it, because, when it smells like, shrimp and grits, I know that ain't how it's supposed to be smelling. So no, for real, I really called to devastated, why do I smell like tilapia? I can't. That's
the worst. Do you smell because I ain't gonna lie, I smell if I think, if I go to the bathroom and I smell my panties.
Oh yes. Yes, ma'am.
I smell my panties.
I have no problem.
Because I know the
my first initial when I smell something bad, I check myself. So I must be. Yeah. And then if it's like because a vagina smells you use the right adjectives, you use the right words to describe it. It is it's toxic. It reeks. It's a dumpster. It's gross. So no, that's the first thing I do. I smell. It's so pungent. I smell myself, and I'm like, is it me? And so in that one particular case, it was. So I'm like, why do I smell like surf and turf? This is getting out of fucking hand. And like, no, because like the first day it was like, all right, maybe it's been a long day, but it's something about, it's a difference between just a long day smell,
a sweaty long day,
and then it's
internal,
and like I'm dying inside smell. It's like
something.
Why do I smell like red snapper and asparagus? Like what? And I literally started panicking. So I had like a dish. I put, because short story. The reason I found out I had chlamydia, I knew something was off when
smell.
No, my chlamydia didn't smell like anything. But I went to dish and then I pulled it out and it looked like it was gross. And I was just like, oh, something ain't right. What the hell is this? So I put like the dish up to see if something was going to come out. Like, is my vagina falling apart? Oh no, who the hell did I get chlamydia again? Like I'm that person. Like I'm freaking out. Oh my God. I'm dying of something. What is this? What is this new age STD I have? Like, oh my God, anything. I just think anything. Anything's wrong with me. Oh my God, this is cancer. Anything. I think anything. So, like, when I called my homegirl, I'm like, listen, I smell like blue crabs from a crab boil. What is going on? And then that's when she explained to me that your pH can be off. So she was like, oh, I got some pills for that. I think I might have been antibiotics. I can't. That's illegal, friends. Let me just throw that out. Don't be using your friend's medication. But however, so she was like, oh, I have something like that. She was like, it happens all the time. But it was like the first time it happened to me. So I was overreacting. She's like, no, it happens all the time, girl. You okay? So she gave me some pills. Because I'm like, I don't see nothing. It's nothing in my panties. It's just like, what is this? Girl, I'm like walking around like a crawfish boil. Like, I can't do this. So she gave me the pills and it knocked it out, and then I didn't have like a smelly vagina anymore.
Maybe her pH balance is low.
So so with that being said, it could be something like an STD. It could not be something like an STD. It could be it could be anything. So you just need to sit her down and be like, hey girl, because I'm gonna tell you how my homegirl told me about them boys lying. Like I tell you how my best friend said I had HIV in high school. My homegirl, I'll never forget her. Tifa came to me and was like, I don't really know how to say this, but they say you got that fire. You see? And it wasn't like rude. It was very to the point. It was very like, listen.
I don't know how to say it. But
so go to her just like that. Hey, I don't know how to say this.
Your vagina is a little funky.
Listen, you have a JJ. Listen, I didn't know if it was you because it was so many of us, but I didn't know if it was you. Shit. But apparently,
I've been going
the
around
tribe has spoken and it's you.
Just, hey, man.
It's the way you say it, though.
Yeah, it's definitely how you say it.
It's
going to be awkward, so we just got to bite that.
Rip the Band-Aid off.
And just tell her, because you don't want you don't want your sister to go out into the club thinking she a bad bitch with a musty pussy.
And you don't want to be around a musty pussy. Have you smelled that stuff?
A musty pussy is the worst thing ever.
Listen, I walked around smelling like king crab legs, and I don't know how people don't know what's them.
Dog, I was outside one day and just sweaty, and it was almost like, and I had these shorts on, and I almost like, it was like a gust of wind that went. They hit you? It was like a gust of wind that went through my shorts. And it went through my nose. I said, oh my God, I'm really musty. Like, shit.
Listen, it's a lot.
You can smell yourself before anybody smells you.
Vaginas are a lot. They're closed up. Some have hair, some don't. It's in these little composites. If your thighs touch, that means your vagina ain't getting no circulation. So it's just a lot. A vagina's a lot to deal with. It's a lot of maintenance.
So, sometimes you're going to be a little musty.
Sometimes you just, you ate too much asparagus or haven't eaten enough asparagus. Maybe you need to put down the Czech sodas and vodka and drink more water. It could be something as simple as that.
Simple as that.
And then sometimes if you need assistance, get some pills. Knock them
out. And always just, like, when you go to the bathroom, I don't think anything's wrong with just smelling your panties. Like, just smell your panties.
Girl, listen.
Smell your panties.
Listen.
If it's a little, because you peeing, you see what's going on. You see what's in
the seat of your panties? You see? Listen. I go to the bathroom. If it don't look right,
I'm fucked up. I'm worried.
Yeah, it's like, it ain't nothing happening.
Every woman has a different something. I know for me personally, I like to look to make sure, like, if it's a certain color, I need it to be a certain color. It has to be a certain smell because I know that smell is healthy.
I know when I should be wet. If ain't nothing going on in life and I'm around here busting out the guts, it's a problem. Now, if I'm flirting and functioning in a way, and then I do it, it's like, oh, this makes sense.
Right.
The process. The process. This is the end of what I was just, okay, cool. And then sometimes it's like, I was just
and maybe sometimes you got to prop that leg open on the sink. Yeah. And get a mirror.
Listen, I'm going to tell you. Listen.
And spread them lips open.
Who has taken this iPhone and flipped that camera over and opened up her vagina to look? Is this girl here? I have no problem checking my vagina.
Check your vaginas,
it is
ladies.
Mine.
Look, man, I have no problem propping that one leg up on the sink. Getting a hand mirror, spreading them lips open, and seeing what the fuck is going on.
Like, who has taken a picture and zoomed it up in the iPhone? Like, hold up. Oh, okay, we good.
What is this? What is this?
I will blow that bitch
You'll
up.
be like, what? I didn't even know that there.
I will blow it up like, oh, that was a piece of tissue, bitch. I don't play the games. Listen, you got one. Listen,
check
2 eyes, 2 ears. You got 1 heart, 1 vagina, 1 brain. There's certain stuff that you can't play with, and it's the organs and the body parts that you only have 1 of. The ones that have 1 matter. Something happened to your left hand, you got a right hand. You know, something happened to this here vagina.
It's only 1. So you gotta check.
You gotta check, girl.
Smell it.
Smell.
Check the panties.
I have no what.
Did he say I'm about to go do it right now?
Now I'm sitting right here thinking about it. This will make me feel like there's something wrong with me. Nope, I don't have no problem. I will take a picture in a minute.
Check them panties.
And we'll be all in it.
The writing's on the panties.
Yeah, it's on the panties.
It's on the panties.
And you know damn well when you take your panties off the pee.
It's the discharge. The discharge is on the panties. If it's not normal.
Or even, and then sometimes it's just a smell and no discharge. Okay. And you know, that could just be something simple.
But tell you have to wash it off. Monkey baths.
You gotta tell her. You gotta
non-hypoallergenic soap.
Girl, say that again, because let me tell y'all how I was in urgent care over some melon cucumber before. Okay?
Because that shit's not gonna make your pussy smell good.
Girl, that shit made my pussy flame immediately.
That shit's not gonna
my vagina.
Get you some hypoallergenic.
I used that cucumber melon. I took a shower. 20 minutes later,
soap ain't supposed to be in your vagina.
No. Let me tell you, I opened up my lips. They look like fucking flaming hot Cheetos. I was like, what the fuck is it? And I'm dramatic. So anything happens, now mind you, I use a new soap. My vagina is flaming. Clearly it's the soap. I literally called the nigga I slept with 2 days ago and told him he gave me something. Like I had to go pins and needles. Like for real. Then I went to urgent care and it was like, hey girl, lay off the soap. And I was like, why do my lips
hypoallergenic soap? You
why
cannot
do they look like flaming Cheetos?
That shit, that Bath and Body Works shit all up in your yaya because your vagina already has a well-established ecosystem. Mm-hmm. So when you put all these detergents and scents and parabens and all types of shit, and half the soap has all types of toxic chemicals and shit. So you just don't know the reaction. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it can react in a musty, negative way.
Yeah, and then some people don't have no reactions to nothing. You know, God bless your vagina. Mine isn't an equal opportunist vagina. Mine is very particular about what happens.
And you know, for me, I only use hypoallergenic soap. St. Ives, shout out to St. Ives. They don't have parabens in their shit, so it works really well.
So girl, it's no easy.
There's no easy way
to say it, but you do need to sit her down. Don't say nothing like that through text message. Don't be crass about it.
Yeah.
And really just be like,
sensitive. Yeah. Like how you would honestly want somebody to tell you how your vagina stinks.
Just honestly, just be, or let her listen to this podcast. That's terrible. Don't let her listen to this podcast. Well, let her listen to this podcast, but not this particular show.
But wait until after you tell her.
Yeah, you need to honestly just go to her and be like, hey, I ain't really no good way to say this, but you know, everybody kind of been, no, don't say everybody, because that make you feel very alienated. Just be like,
just say, I've noticed a couple times that when I've been with you, there's a certain smell. It's not like an underarm, it's a vagina smell. And maybe we can go to the store together, maybe pick out some different soaps, I just want to let you know you're busy.
Yeah. Hey girl, I just want to let you.
Hey girl, hey.
Hey girl, hey. You know, I've noticed that it's been like a smell, and you know,
I don't want to be.
And then give her options. Be like, you know, maybe we need to just go.
Maybe we need to change our diet. Maybe we need to stop eating.
Not even that probably offend her. Just be like, you know, maybe girl, just say your vagina smells.
Your vagina smells.
Yeah.
And
I don't know how to say this. But
just say it's musty.
Say musty. Ooh, but that could be because she might just think she need to wash. It's like, no, girl, that's internal.
Well, maybe when she recognizes it.
She recognizes it. You ain't gonna tell me you can't smell your vagina.
I mean, I know you can't smell. I know a person can smell.
When I was walking around here smelling like shrimp noodles. No,
I'm telling you, like when that gust of wind went through my shorts and it was like a breeze. I felt it and it went straight to my nose. I said, "Wow, wow!"
It smells like a sushi bar, and I'm not in a sushi bar. What is going on? So I don't.
There
ain't no way to say it. Just be like, hey,
your pussy stinks.
Hey, your vagina don't smell right. You have a J, whatever.
Word
however y'all talk. You have a JJ, your vagina, your pussy, your cunt, whatever words you're using these days. You know, just be like, hey,
this ain't it. That ain't it.
Your vagina don't smell too high. Be like, maybe, and then just tell like, oh, baby, your pH is off. And that's really honestly say it like that.
And you could too. Actually, before you tell her, Google pH balances and smelly vaginas. So that way you have facts to back up.
Yeah, just be like, hey, girl, I know it's like there's been a smell. Maybe your pH is off.
And maybe relate to it and just say, hey, I was like that a couple weeks ago and I Googled this information. And perhaps maybe that is something that may help you. I mean, even though maybe your pussy didn't stink, but just relate to her in a sense.
Puss and boots! Puss!
You know, that maybe try that approach. Just say, hey, maybe
smelly
I had
cat, smelly cat.
I had the same thing. And I recognized it, so maybe this is the same scenario with you. So maybe this information I can pass on to you.
Or sing, smelly cat, smelly cat.
No,
what are they
you guys,
feeding you?
I'm actually about to go to the restroom to check my pH levels in my vagina.
Anyways, guys, catch us next Wednesday. You know where to catch us. I am Natoya Ebony on all Instagram accounts, and Adrianna's Miss Cool _ in the city. And
check your vaginas, ladies.
Always check your vaginas. And recoveringpartygirls@gmail.com. Send your letters, send your questions. We want to hear from you guys. And you guys have a great week. Holla.